It's no secret that I've been really enjoying Bonelab. I mean, I made 2 videos about it already, and I thought I was done making videos on it, but Bonelab has expanded further than I ever thought it would. See, I knew prior to launch that the game would get mod support. It was inevitable, but I didn't think I'd really dive into it that much because there wasn't that much there that really appealed to me. However, when I checked the mod.io page, I found just three mods that interested me and completely transformed my game experience for a couple of hours. There was one player model mod and 2 maps. That's it, that's all it took to keep me occupied for that long. Because what I introduced to the game was pretty nuts. Because those 2 maps in question were from Garry's mod, the single game that I have the most hours in on any platform. So when I looked on the mod.io page and saw that GM Big City and GM Construct were available for Bonelab, I mean, it was an instant yes. And let me tell you, walking around these maps in full scale 3D in a VR headset is a godly experience. It's actually GM Construct. This is so nuts, what the fuck? I can't really put into words how cool it was walking around places which I've played in for years and hundreds of hours, and then seeing them at accurate scale. The textures for the maps are just ported over, so it looks identical to the Gmod version. Are these the actual assets they've just put into the game? Because this is like actually Gmod assets. All of the places on GM Construct were there, including the awful back room. Why is it so much darker over there than it is over there? Oh, fucking hell. There's no light either. And it was just kind of nuts to explore areas of the map that I've been to before, but felt completely new because of the environment I was in. I mean, obviously I've played Half-Life Alyx, so I've been in Half-Life in VR. But like, all of this reacts how you think it would. I can hook my grip around to the front of that. Like, the geometry actually works. That is fucking astounding. That's not to say that every single little detail is carried over in all cases, because GM Big City made me very sad because the one area that I really wanted to explore in VR was blocked off, I'm assuming because of technical limitations, but I have no real answer, so I'm gonna go with that. No, you're kidding. Can I not go inside? No, it's blocked off. I'm actually very upset. I'm very upset. Oh, well, the mirror doesn't work quite as well, but, yeah, no, that's just, interesting. Do they have the water and everything over here? That is just nuts, though, isn't it? Is this gonna... Oh. Interesting. Other than that, though, GM Big City instilled a sort of liminal space vibe for me that I've never really got from it. I've seen people talking about the liminal space and eerie vibe this map gives off when you're playing it alone, but because the amount of time I've spent in Garry's pod, I've gotten used to it. However, being put into it in 3D made it feel kinda unnerving. Hearing the classic Half-Life background sounds that I've come accustomed to usually would be fine, but because of the tall buildings looming over me and absolutely no one in sight in a realistic looking environment, made everything feel kind of off. And that's in a good way. Add a few shadowy figures around this map and you can take it for a horror one. Right, this is all obviously empty. Nobody is here. And yet they're still like that. I don't usually get that while playing Gmod because I'm so like used to it, but actually being here in real scale is different. Aside from that though, it genuinely just was amazing to explore these maps in VR like I never have before, especially with this level of fidelity that Bonelab brings to the table through the Quest 2. I'm exploring places that I never usually would, just in normal Gmod, because there's no reason for me to, but because it's actually like to scale and real, there's a reason for me to. That is just, oh my god. How much more perfect can you get? I wanna go over it. Let's go. Ah, fuck. Stop. Anyway, those 2 maps were amazing, but it's not the only thing I downloaded, as I mentioned before. There was one more mod that I got, and that was the aforementioned player model add-on. That being the model of Master Chief from Halo 3. Oh, that's awesome. And while the wrists on this one are a little wonky, it was a lot of fun. Looking in that mirror and seeing myself as Chief, it's just nuts. I mean, sure you play as him in the Halo games, but his player model doesn't mimic your movements, but in Bonelab, It does. Every little move you make translates to the in-game character model. And Chief's strength is carried over to this model too. I spawned a billion enemies on top of one of the buildings on GM Construct and had a massive fight with them, and it was some of the most fun I've ever had in the game. Usually I find power fantasy stuff a little boring to an extent, but actually being there and being Chief and taking on countless people really did make me feel like a badass. Oh.
There we go. Here we go.
I've done some further testing with this Chief player model, but that'll be in a future video because I dived into a few campaign levels and it was great. But as I said, future video, not this one. This one's gone on long enough. If you haven't already, I strongly advise you to take a look on Mod.io and see if there are any mods there you'd like to install for Bonelab. It's really an easy process. There are a lot of videos online telling you how to do so, and it will completely transform your game. This was a religious experience for me, seeing these Gmod maps in full scale, and you'll probably have a similar one. There are other Gmod maps, there are Mario maps. Just take a look. It's nuts. Anyway, if you did enjoy this video, consider subscribing and liking. That would help me out a lot, and I hope to see you again in the future.